Alright guys, what's going on? Coaster here, just talking. I know it's been some time. The Sharks made their decisions today. Hasso Plattner came out, the team owner of SAP and the company that pretty much, he's the majority owner of the Sharks. He came out today and made the statement saying, I'm going to pretty much stand by Doug Wilson and Todd McLellan. I don't know, it's not exactly the happiest thing in the world. I think people will just kind of expect another failure at this point. Here's the problem with this, is that the Sharks can't really do much in the first place. Even if there's a new GM, guys like Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau are already locked up, and besides being locked up for another 3 years, they have a no trade clause. So it'll be very, very hard to trade anybody on this team. It really is. Maybe Joe Pavelski because he came off a 40-goal season, but you really think that's going to happen? I don't know. So yeah, the Sharks are very much stuck at where they are as of right now. They're at the point where they're going to keep the status quo. The owner kind of says the public relations statement of, yeah, I'm embarrassed, and we expect more. Well, I need to see it. I need to see some changes this offseason. There are, unfortunately, I don't know how there can be any, but in reality, there has to be some fix as an identity. Leadership-wise, right now, I don't even know who comes in and who does what. Luckily, I'm not the GM, and I can't make those decisions. What I do know is the Sharks have made a couple silly moves in trade. The past offseason, they didn't have any room in free agency, so what do? They trade a second-rounder for Tyler Kennedy. That move hasn't worked out, and he's still under contract this year. Bad move, Doug Wilson. You gave up a second-round pick for it. Why? I don't like it. I believe that's the pick they got from the, or they traded their own pick. They used the pick they got from Douglas Murray, that second rounder. That pick ended up being traded up just to get Mirko Muller. I don't know who trades up a second round pick just to move up 2 spots in the draft, but I didn't like how aggressive that was. I thought they could have given up less. I know Mirko Muller is the guy they had targeted the whole time. I get that, fine. You want the guy you wanted. They don't care what they gave up for him. The only thing good is they have 3 draft picks this upcoming draft. Obviously, none of these guys whoever they take in the draft, they're not going to play. But it's important to stock up the farm. I don't want to see us give up another second rounder for a player, a rental. That's Doug Wilson's specialty. He always loves giving up a draft pick, a second round pick, for a player in the now. From Dominic Moore to Ian White to Nicholas Wallin. The list goes on and on and on. You give up they always has given up draft picks for a rental or a short-term player. I mean, Mike Brown worked out for a few games. Don't get me wrong. That was a decent pick for what we gave up. But right now it goes beyond that. This goes really just identity. Once again, this team lacks an identity, and I don't know how they fix this. They can tease me and win 70 games next year, and I could think they're going to go dead in the first round because they're going to just peak at the wrong time of the year. It's still beyond disgusting that the exit last year ended the way it did. I'm not really mad at McLellan, how it ended. I mean, it's easy to blame the coach, and as I said, that's the easy scapegoat thing to do. But I believe it's the identity in the locker room. That the coach can only say so much and do so much. Players were not motivated. There's no execution. They're too nervous. That's pretty much all I see it with this team. And unless they clamp down and they play like a team like they need to be and they should be doing, they're not doing anything with Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau as the main guys. That's how I'm seeing it right now, unless they step in and did what the 2011 Boston Bruins did. They blew a series lead to the Philadelphia Flyers, and then the next year they won the Cup. They had a couple games with their backs against the wall. I believe there was a Game 7 overtime goal. There was another Game 7 and another game. They won 3 Game 7s in that playoffs year because they came together when it mattered most. And a guy named Tim Thomas, who is probably going to be retired from the NHL soon, he stepped up when he needed to. I do think this team has good young talent. They got some developing guys. I'd like to see them develop continually. But I don't know what they do in free agency. Maybe you could throw suggestions out. But what I do know is Dan Boyle should be gone. I don't think he's going to come back. We don't have the cap room, and it's not worth spending on a guy that's in the older ages. But yeah, there's identity problems. And it's already disgusting to know they took an exit the way they did, and it's still more angry that the corporate crowd doesn't boo the team off the ice and say anything. I mean, it's rough about San Jose. All these people are corporate crowd. Not everybody. I'm not targeting everyone, but that lower bowl is a corporate crowd. It's the heart of Silicon Valley. A lot of computer people, a lot of high-tech people, and it feels like people don't care about wanting to be great. It's just, okay, let's make the playoffs. We're good. We're great, but that feeling has been sickening. It's been sickening since 2006. I think 2004 was the last okay playoff exit. It didn't bother me much to run into a hot Iginla team as much as it sucked. But these teams have so much talent and so much falling. These teams are way more talented than that 04 team was, and they're just falling harder. I mean, 2011 was kind of a fun year. They still found ways to play bad at the wrong time, but they get creative ways to lose. I mean, it's bad. There's a couple exits that weren't too annoying, like 2012, because they weren't playing well anyway, but this team showed all these teasing. They played so well, even in the first two games, and then it all just collapsed. They barely win Game 3. They weren't playing well, but they still won because they weren't trying somehow, but they lose 4 games in a row. They don't show up in pretty much any of them because Antti Niemi and Alex Stalock were being thrown under the bus. Those are the only 2 guys that weren't the problem throughout the playoff series. And once again, identity crisis. I'm not exactly mad. I'm not happy with this decision to keep both guys, but I get what they're doing. It takes something drastic for this ownership to want to change and actually care about winning. Obviously you don't root for a team to lose. You should not be rooting for your team to tank or any of that. But if it does happen, maybe it will wake up this ownership. Maybe it will do something. Because Doug Wilson, I'm not saying I want him gone, but he's made some mistakes. Because he's done so much for this team to keep them competitive year in and year out. There's even been some couple down years. They've still made the playoffs, even in the dark couple of so-so rebuilding years, per se. So that's about it. I mean, good luck to the teams remaining. I'm not going to talk trash to anyone who's been eliminated. I know it's easy to, but yeah. Good luck to, preferably I would say good luck to Montreal and New York. That's just me. So that's about it on the Sharks. Let me know what you think. And there's an identity crisis. See you guys later. Go Sharks.